traveling across the country with these people from all over, and now we're just strangers, and now we're all friends, and getting to road trip with little Jesus in the van, it's just like, I don't know, it's such a fulfillment. It's such an adventure.
An unexpected realization after a month on the road with the other perpetual pilgrims on the southern route of the National Eucharistic Pilgrimage, that God alone is enough. From the border to the bayou, to the country's Holy Land in the Kentucky Bible Belt, the pilgrims along the Juan Diego Route have traveled over 2,000 miles, bringing dust from the border with Mexico north to the plains of Indiana, carrying our Lord in the Eucharist. And not only our Eucharistic Lord, but also our Virgin Mother, Our Lady of Guadalupe. From the beginning of the pilgrimage in Brownsville, Texas, an image of Our Lady has accompanied the pilgrims, given as a gift on behalf of the Diocese of Matamoros, Mexico. The intercession of Juan Diego, the indigenous pilgrim patron saint of the route, set the tone for the 2-month pilgrimage, which traveled through 8 states. Starting in the extreme heat of Texas, the bilingual border community walked miles along the highways to mission churches, carrying our Lord on an ornate Eucharistic float outfitted with a bell.
Gloria a Dios, Gloria, Gloria, Gloria. There was one woman who was singing. We gave her the microphone, and she was singing nonstop for an hour. And there's just these little hymns of adoring the Lord and singing to Our Lady. And most of the people know the song, so they're singing on. But she's just walking and singing constantly as she's just dripping sweat and it's hot outside. And so the faith of the people is simple, but it's very strong and it's real.
One stop in Texas stood out to all the perpetual pilgrims in particular.
We had this night of adoration, praise and worship, confession. The confession line, I mean, the night went long and we had to cut it off. It was so long, it was so beautiful.
This historic military fort, once a place of revolution, now a place of reconciliation. The pilgrims continued north to Our Lady of Walsingham in Houston, the seat of Anglican tradition and communion with the Catholic Church created by the Vatican. 500 miles later, the pilgrims finally reached their next state, Louisiana. The southern route made stops in Baton Rouge and New Orleans, where Jesus Christ in the Eucharist was carried by a vintage fire truck. The French Quarter then welcomed our Lord while pilgrims processed through Jackson Square and celebrated Mass with Bishop Gregory Aymond at the famous Cathedral Basilica of St. Louis, King of France. Continuing along the coast, pilgrims processed along the Gulf in Mississippi, where hundreds of participants gathered for the historic blessing of the sea.
Father Vincent actually waded out into the Mississippi Sound and blessed the Mississippi Sound, but he also blessed Long Beach and then all of our coastal area and thus our whole diocese. So it was really tremendous.
Part of the pilgrimage routes included days of service. In Mississippi, pilgrims had the opportunity to participate in a day of service at the newly inaugurated Mercy Cross Center, a day shelter for the homeless. They cleaned up trash, spoke to residents, and served fresh meals.
So that's where the pilgrims were able to minister, and it's been such a gift. We've only been open for 3 weeks.
This was just one of 4 total days of service to the homeless. A month into their journey, pilgrims made a 4-day rest stop at the Shrine of the Most Blessed Sacrament in Hanceville, the final resting place of EWTN foundress Mother Angelica.
We got to meet the sisters today, and it was a very beautiful moment because as perpetual pilgrims, we've been collecting intentions and praying for those intentions. But for the first time, we got to give our intentions to other people to be prayed for.
More than 1,000 people joined the pilgrims for their final day at Mother Angelica's shrine, processing around the grounds and sharing time in adoration.
Here we have, the southern route, the San Juan Diego route for the Eucharistic pilgrimage, and it's great to be part of that. This, in fact, is historic.
Re-energized and recollected, pilgrims traveled to Atlanta, where pilgrims not only processed to the cathedral, but also to the parish of Our Lady of Vietnam, celebrating Mass with Bishop John Tran and the Vietnamese community. From one city to the next, pilgrims moved on to Nashville, celebrating outdoor Mass with the Dominican Sisters of St. Cecilia and processing around the city's oldest churches, one dating back to 1847.
But I think it's just really that wonderful incarnated presence of the Lord here in our midst, that he really is on mission across the United States, and we're so happy to be following him, especially as his consecrated brides.
The last state in the Juan Diego Route before the final stretch in Indiana is also known as the Kentucky Holy Land. With religious orders ranging from Trappist monks and their Abbey of Gethsemane to the Sisters of Charity of Nazareth to the Dominican Sisters of Peace, the Kentucky Holy Land, once known for its missionary zeal, was once again met with Eucharistic missionaries, or pilgrims, over the 4th of July, celebrating the freedom to proclaim Christ without fear of persecution. Finishing their journey in what made up the longest public procession of all 4 routes, pilgrims walked 14 miles across state lines from Kentucky to Indiana and over the Ohio River. Montse Alvarado, EWTN News In Depth.